Hey, what's up, guys? It's Frank with Synergy Training and Bodybuilding Bros. Today is Saturday, April 12th. I am 2 weeks out from my first bodybuilding show for this year. Wanted to do a full day of eating video for you guys. Also going to show you my upper body workout a little bit later this morning. First thing you saw this morning was a quick posing update, a little posing practice. That was right after I woke up at like 4 a.m. No food or water or pump. Just woke up out of bed, got some posing practice. I've been doing that on a weekly basis just to get the most consistent assessment of what I'm looking like. I did have a refeed day yesterday, so a little bit higher calories, so I'm a little bit more full, which is nice. After 6 days of lower calories, kind of flattens me out a bit. So that was a posing update. I looked at it quickly and looks like I made some improvements from the week before, especially in my glutes and lower body. That's really what I've been trying to grind out for these past few weeks. My upper body conditioning is pretty good, but was just trying to get that last bit of fat off. And I still have one more week now on a little bit lower calories before we start bringing things up on peak week. Sorry, I'm whispering a little bit. Try not to wake up my wife who's sleeping. So it's about an hour later now, and I am just sitting down to have breakfast. So my calories for today are back on a low day now. Yesterday was a refeed at 2,800. Today is going to be back down to my low days, which this recently have been 2,375 calories. And then I just kind of shoot for a minimum of 40 grams of fat and 180 grams of protein per day, and then my carbs kind of fall wherever they are depending on where my fat and protein are, usually around like low 300 range. So my body weight right now is, this morning I was 175.4, and that was actually my average over the past 7 days. And my low weigh-in was earlier this week at 174.2. So hoping to drop maybe, another half a pound potentially. Maybe a little bit less, trying to be like pretty careful with how much weight I'm losing at this point when there's not much body fat left to lose. You don't want to lose too much and then risk losing muscle or anything like that at this point. So another week to maybe grind off a little bit more fat tissue before I start filling out for peak week. So like I said, it's about a little after 5:15 right now this morning. Gonna have my first meal of the day. It's gonna be typical breakfast for me, and then I'm gonna hit my upper body workout probably around 6:30. So I'll give this like an hour to digest before hitting the gym. So I just cooked up this bowl of oatmeal. There's 80 grams of oats in here. Cooked that in the microwave for a few minutes with some water and some salt and cinnamon. And then I threw in a scoop of vanilla whey protein and 150 grams of non-fat Greek yogurt, and then some strawberries on top. And then I'm just having 8 ounces of coffee. This is just black. I did throw in a pack of artificial sweetener like Equal or aspartame. So this has been a pretty typical breakfast for me lately. On days that I train in the morning, I've been doing 80 grams of oats. And then on days when I train in the afternoon, I just have been doing 60 because then I get a couple more meals in me before my training. So like on my training morning days when I just have one meal beforehand, I just throw a little bit extra carbs in this meal, and then I'll obviously have to have a little bit less throughout the rest of the day. But I'd rather have, those carbs and energy in me to fuel my session. So I'll eat this, chill for about an hour, and then I'll see you guys in the gym. All right, guys, so it's a little after 9 o'clock right now. Just finished up that workout maybe about a half hour ago. It was about a 2-hour session, one of my longer workouts for the week. First, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'd really like to continue to grow this channel. So I'm sitting down for my post-workout meal right now. Pretty typical meal for me, honestly. My meals throughout the week have been pretty boring and consistent. It just kind of helps me keep on track, not have to think about things too much and not deal with, cravings or things like that. If you start to introduce like hyper palatable foods or maybe new foods, it might like trigger some cravings and things. And that actually, like, hunger has not really been an issue for me this entire prep, which is really nice. So meal number 2, I'll put the macros up on the screen as well. I'm just having 2 scoops of whey protein isolate. I usually do concentrate, but now that I'm getting closer to competition, I picked up this isolate just in case concentrate gives me any sort of like GI bloating and stuff. It has like a little more lactose and other things that might cause bloating, so I'm trying to minimize that. So I'm gonna switch over to isolate. So just picked up this new tub of chocolate. So 60 grams of whey protein in this bowl from here. I did just 1 serving of these generic Cheerios from Aldi. And then I'm having some of these frozen blueberries I just thawed out in the microwave. Just finished this bag off. It was like a little less than 1 serving's worth. And then I'm also having 5 grams of creatine monohydrate. This is Creapure again. I usually don't buy Creapure. I just buy like the regular non-Creapure version. But since I could potentially get drug tested and things like that for my competition, I just want to make sure I'm reducing the risk of any impurities in my supplements. So gonna eat this, meal number 2. Probably gonna go for a walk, get some of my steps in for the day. I'm not really doing any cardio. I haven't done any real like cardio throughout this prep, just trying to shoot for between like 10 to 11,000 steps per day and making sure I maintain that. And that's been enough, activity to keep my weight coming down without my calories having to drop too low. So meal number 2, go get some steps in with my dog, and then I'll see you guys probably around 1 o'clock for meal number 3. All right, guys, so about 1 o'clock right now. Just sitting down for a little quick snack. Trying to keep my calories a little bit lower earlier in the day today because I'm going to be having pizza later tonight, so I need to save up a little more calories than I normally do for dinner, but definitely worth it for me. I've been doing pizza on Saturdays pretty much my entire prep. Pretty happy that I've been able to make that fit throughout this prep. So I've been trying to space out my meals. If you can't tell, like every 4 hours or so, I'll probably have dinner maybe between 5 and 6 o'clock. So that seems to work out pretty well with keeping me energized throughout the day, not too hungry, and also gives me, consistent protein boluses throughout the day. So for this little snack, just having 300 grams of this low-fat cottage cheese. Pretty good protein source for not too many calories. Let's see, so almost 3 times this amount here. And then I just chopped up an apple and am gonna have that for a little extra carbs and some nice crunch. And then I just threw in some cinnamon for a little extra flavor. I got some steps in earlier, probably gonna do some stuff around the house, maybe bang out a few more steps. I'll probably have to go for another short walk later today, also probably before dinner, to get the rest of my 10,000 steps in. So weekends are a little bit different than during the week when I'm at work. I get a lot of my steps just being at work, and then I'll do like 1 shorter walk with my dog. But usually on the weekends, get a couple walks in, try to keep busy around the house, and that'll usually get me to my number. So I'm gonna eat this, and then I'll see you guys a little later when I start getting ready to make some pizza. All right, guys, so a little before 5:30, getting ready to make some pizza. So I make this all from scratch. The dough is from scratch, so I know all the ingredients, and I'm just using plain crushed tomatoes that I just blended up, some mozzarella cheese, and some salt. So that's how I kind of keep track of this pizza, and just add a little bit extra flour for how I am preparing it, make sure it doesn't stick to my peel. All right, so just got this out of my pizza oven. Baked it for about 90 seconds or so. Pretty quick bake with that oven up to almost 1,000 degrees. So after I cooked it, I just topped it with some fresh basil, some oregano and crushed red pepper. And then I'm also going to be having this kale salad. This is just chopped kale. And I threw in 5 grams of olive oil with some salt and pepper. And that's going to be dinner. So I think after this, I probably still have a little bit more left in my macros, probably just a tiny bit left to finish off, probably some protein, maybe a little extra carbs. So I'll see you guys in a little bit with my final meal. All right, so about 6 o'clock now, and like I said, didn't have much left to finish my calories and macros. So I just mixed a tiny bit of some chocolate whey protein here again, and a little bit of Cheerios, like a little, maybe like 3/4 of a serving of those. Pretty typical like dessert or a little snack for me at the end of the day. Just makes it easy to, you know, adjust the protein and whatever carb source I'm using to finish my calories and hit my macros pretty easily at the end of the day with whatever is left from what I ate earlier. So my totals for today ended up being 42 grams of fat, 316 grams of carbs, and 182 grams of protein for 2370 calories. So pretty much right on where I want to be. Where I want to be for today for my low days, and probably will continue that throughout this week for my final week. So thank you for watching the video. If you made it this far, this is probably a pretty long video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video, probably as I'm getting ready for peak week. So I'll see you guys soon.